Let me ask you guys, Danny, who was over here watching AFCON?
I
The semis?
Standard.
I watched
I
the
watched
The quarters?
The quarters I didn't watch all
I
games.
think yes, I didn't watch
I think
all
I watched the one South Africa won. I think I watched like 2 games in the quarters. Because these are games.
And whatever you guys watched, what do you think? Because what was surprising, if I may ask, what has surprised you so far about the AFCON? You, Omosh?
level of talent. Those
And
those
Pablo,
guys,
and Pablo, you can actually chime in.
Those guys are balling, man. Guys are playing, and then the smaller name countries are kicking butt.
Yes.
And it's no longer at it's gonna be the big names,
No.
the Cameroons, the Nigerias, the Cote d'Ivoire's, the whatever, like the names of the traditional African greats, right? It's these smaller countries that, like the DRCs, your
Cabo Verde.
These countries that you're like, these guys even have soccer? How the heck did they even make it over here? TZ, I mean, but
they qualified.
But you see, our reason for not qualifying, and I'll still stick with that, is we were disqualified. We were not participating. Right? So we couldn't qualify.
We couldn't qualify.
We couldn't qualify. We had been suspended. So there is no way that we were going to make it. We were not AFCON. We were not making AFCON. Even when we were brought back, there was no way for us to make AFCON. Because we were overtaken by events. And that's to our own detriment. And somebody was not forward thinking enough to go and lobby and get us back in on time so we could qualify for AFCON. Yeah. That one is my bad on the Kenya side, and really we could have, in my opinion, we could have been shining, or we would have made it there, in my opinion. So again, that's just my opinion.
I'm getting a text here. Cape Verde is an example. In West Africa, it's a culture. Young men play soccer in the evening in every available space. In Kenya, spaces have been grabbed. Young men only meet in bars, in security too. Can't play evening or jog.
No.
Especially,
which young men are they talking about?
Especially talented women. So I'm just curious when it comes, because I'm seeing jog and talented women.
No.
You have to develop a culture first.
Hapo.
No, I think he's talking about young men in their 30s.
Yeah, because when he's saying young men meeting, because you have to have money to go to the bar to drink, right? When we were growing up, even now, those guys who are age
but then almost you have to remember, especially in the city. Correct. A lot of the spaces where we used to play, they have apartments right now. Those spaces were grabbed. I'm thinking about this like Nairobi West.
You're right, because even Mada, the spaces in Mada, they added.
Yeah, because all those spaces,
all the extra spaces that they had,
those
the green spaces,
you would find kids playing ball.
Correct. Hapo, I am not disputing. Yeah. But the way that our structure is, and I'll still say it, and maybe somebody will say, "Oh, Moshe, way off," is that even in school, sports is one of those things that you gravitate towards. So you, as a boy, you don't have a choice. You're gonna have to play one of those games at some point in Chuo. And a lot of the schools now are boarding, so it's not like you have a choice. And they do have space for you to play. Now, when you come back to the estate,
that's a different story.
I think,
but then
I
also
say
schools, you have to realize also schools have changed. The public schools cannot accommodate, like all the students. So there's this quasi-private schools. They're not really private in the private sense you're thinking of. Yeah. So it's just a building. They don't even have a space for kids to play. You mean
glorified Ravels?
Yes, a glorified Ravels. It's just a building. There's no space for kids to play. So there's some differences. But going back to AFCON, another thing that really surprised me in this AFCON was how teams were swift to get rid of coaches when the teams are not. There were 2 teams. There was Tanzania and Ivory Coast. Both these teams, they got rid of their coaches in the first round. Because remember, Ivory Coast, it's so surprising that they're now in the finals. They lost 2 games in the group stages.
And one of them was a beat down.
It was a beat down.
It wasn't looking good.
It wasn't looking good at all.
That 12th man makes a difference. I don't care what anybody says.
It does make a difference. So they got rid of the coach. They got rid of the French coach, and the guy who's coaching them right now is a local.
The interim.
Yeah, he's an interim guy, and he's gotten them to the finals. So they did. Adel Amrouche also was coaching Tanzania. So I don't know what he went and said. TFF wakamwambia, okay, boss.
But a boss.
Yeah, that's the end of the story.
He's Moroccan,
done
right?
for you.
He's Moroccan, is he?
He's Moroccan. Yeah, he was also coaching. He was also coaching Kenya, and he's the one who actually got Kenya. He's one who got Kenya disqualified because Kenya owed him money.
Yes, alienda ka complain. Correct.
Alienda ka complain.
Yes, because he was not paid.
He was not paid. He did a job. He was not paid.
Yeah.
So he went and complained. So that's one thing that surprised. And then of course the fact that the talent gap has really closed in. You know, like there's no longer saying that we are the giants.
Yeah. If these guys come at CG, they're indomitable and they're lions, or CG, they're eagles and they're flying. Nothing.
All the teams that made it to the World Cup, none of them made it to the semifinals. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah, Morocco,
Senegal.
Well, they made it to the quarters.
Then they never made it to the semis.
No.
None of them made it to the semis.
There was Cameroon.
Egypt.
Cameroon
was also in the World Cup.
They didn't make it.
They didn't make it. Yeah.
No, I was saying
they made it to the round
Algeria.
of 16. I think they made it to the round of 16.
Algeria didn't even chomoka first round.
No.
Yeah, Algeria didn't chomoka first round.
Yes. What I loved about this was I was so captivated because, like you said, the competition and the talent has improved.
Yes.
And I was telling my daughter, I'm like, Mama, listen, people have gotten better.
Yeah.
People are playing better. Now, somebody over here is saying, talking about Cape Verde, and I was gonna mention that. Pertaining to making and growing sports, if you make safe spaces, playground safe for women,
Correct.
you make it attractive for children. Talent grows. For kids, spaces, if not grabbed by powerful land grabbers, they are left to bouncing castle merchants.
That is true.
That is true.
Yeah.
But when you look at talent, it has improved. I was listening to a guy talk about today on Spice, and a guy called Cyprian, and I shared the link. He said that's something, if you want to know that a country is doing well, there are 4 places that you look at. You look at the bus station, you look at the national team, you look at the hospitals. I can't remember one. How you treat them, it's an indicator of
how well you're doing.
Yeah. Let's look at our national teams. Kenya.
Madogs.
Hospitals.
Madogs.
Our women. Ni muhadhara ni madhogo than you.
Yeah.
Bus station, ukienda bus station.
Madogs.
Bus station or any station, train station or whatever, apart from maybe SGR. When you look at the chores or whatever infrastructure,
horrible. Yeah.
I don't even go to, because if 3 out of 4 already are madhogo than you, even the other one, I can't remember what the other one was. But there needs to be a way to facilitate, to grow, to nurture, to make it conducive for talent to grow. Now, I was looking at some of the players. You know, we talked about how the Nigerian team, majority of the players play international.
Yeah.
But South African, they play local.
They play local.
Yeah.
But their league is also good.
Their league is good. But I pointed out that one team produced
a majority
of the players. So that in itself is a problem. However, South Africa produced local talent.
Yeah.
And that local talent, even that major team, even that main team produced, even if it produced 8 South Africans.
Yeah.
Iliwafikisha wapi? Semis.
And they were very close to making it to the final.
Yes, and they went to penalty.
Yeah.
Their kicking was
So it's one of those, you're like, the talent is there. We do have talent. Would it be nice to have, our local, like now for example, soccer leagues like Kenya, whatever. I'm sure wewe ni msee wa AFC Leopards. Ama wewe ni msee wa?
Huwezi kuwa msee wa FC.
Wewe ni msee wa? Shabana FC ama Kariobangi Sharks?
Hawezi kuwa mtu wa FC. I can tell you. Hawezi kuwa mtu wa FC. People from that side of the country.
Gwara.
Yeah, exactly.
Na wewe ni?
Mimi ni mtu wa
Bandari.
No, mimi ni mtu wa FC. In all seriousness, mimi ni mtu wa FC Leopards. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me, I don't have a team yet.
Is the basic structure and which is not.